what are your thoughts on Bitcoin and just other forms of digital currency as a whole?
Well, I'm not a fan of any of it. My thoughts are I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't put any money into it. When we were just talking about this morning here with the production guys, we were just, I don't know how we got on it, but when you look at the videos and you start looking at some of this stuff, it really looks great. I got an email from somebody yesterday because I always say to people, and I get a lot of questions about Bitcoin. So when I get the questions, I always say, that's great. It's up 50%. Have you tried to get your money? And why did you invest the money? Well, I invested it to make money. You sure you didn't invest it just to get more Bitcoin? Because that's about all you're going to get, because that's what's going up. Did you ever think about selling it for the price that it is now up to so that you can get some real money that you can use for things like silly things like paying your bills? Maybe you should try to do that. Well, when you try to do it, you find out it's not that easy. So I'm not a fan of it. Look, there's no accountability. There's no transparency. There's no settlement of it. There's no way to track it. There are, I guess hundreds would be a little bit of a hyperbole, but there are an awful lot of guys in jail and still going to jail over Bitcoin and their selling practices and what they've done. Now it's becoming a pyramid marketing scheme as if it were a cosmetic product or something. But anyway, there is nothing. Another Federal Reserve branch called it a scam. One of the European Federal Reserves or central bankers called it a scam. Jamie Dimon called it a scam. On it goes. There is going to be a digital or a electronic currency someday. It'll probably come out of the IMF. It is going to be a form of currency that is going to have something backing it, whether it's the full faith and credit of the world, or it's going to be something, it's going to be accountable, it's going to be counted for, it's going to have some real possibilities, and it's going to usher in the one world government, in my opinion. So I think that there will be a currency. I don't believe that Bitcoin is a currency. Until I can have it in my pocket and go buy a dozen eggs with it, it's not a currency any more than gold is, but at least gold's got some intrinsic value. This does not. So I can't do it because I don't do things that are not transparent. I don't do any investments, whether it's a real estate investment trust that is not publicly traded, whatever it is. I'm not doing anything that is not discoverable, not something that you can run through a series of discovery and say it's this, this, and this, and here it is. And yes, my Bitcoin's up 200%. I'm cashing out, and you go to cash out, and you get your 200% profit plus your investment, and then you can move on, wait till it comes down, buy more if you want, or go to buy something else or stock or pay your bills or pay your house off, whatever. But until, when I start hearing all the stories about people doing that, it'll begin to add a little bit of credibility to it. But there's no accountability, there's no transparency, there's no accounting, there's nothing. That's why terrorists use it. The problem is with the terrorists, what are they going to do with it? Well, they're going to use it to buy more Bitcoin with the notion that these terrorists somehow are going to get wealthy. I would say that's very suspect. The wealth comes from the underground. It comes from the black market. It comes from other areas of illegal activities. It's not coming from mainstream Swiss bank or American dollars by any stretch of the imagination. So I can't back it no more than I would support anything. And me personally, I wouldn't put a nickel into it. Everybody that is flocking into this is millennials. I don't know how old you are, but they're all millennials. They're driving. That's who they're marketing to. That's who they're trying to get to. They all think that they're never going to have to work again a day in their life. And, they're going to make $1 billion. And that's how they sell it. And they're all flocking to it. So they're postponing buying that house or some other things that they should be thinking about doing. But I'm only glad that they're not preying on senior citizens like most scams do. I'm glad they're preying on young people that have a chance to recover.